Imagine a world where the Arctic is no longer a frozen wilderness. What would that look like? It's a chilling thought, isn't it? The Arctic, once a mesmerizing expanse of ice and snow, is rapidly transforming. The ice cap has shrunk by almost 40% since the late 1970s. It's not just a case of disappearing icebergs or polar bears losing their homes. This meltdown impacts us all. You see, the Arctic acts like a global air conditioner regulating our climate and weather patterns. As the ice melts, it disrupts this balance, leading to more extreme weather events worldwide. Rising sea levels are another consequence, threatening coastal cities and low-lying islands. And let's not forget, the more ice we lose, the more sunlight Earth absorbs, further warming our planet. It's a vicious cycle, a ticking time bomb. But what if we could reverse this process? What if we could refreeze the Arctic? Refreezing the Arctic sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, doesn't it? But believe it or not, it's a concept that scientists are seriously considering. Yes, you heard it right. We are talking about turning the Arctic freeze back on, in a bid to counter the effects of global warming. So how do they propose to do it? Well, the idea is to use wind-powered pumps to spray seawater onto the surface of the ice. This might seem like a simple solution, but it's a well-thought-out process. You see, seawater freezes at a lower temperature than fresh water, so when it's sprayed onto the surface of the existing ice, it would freeze and add an extra layer, thus thickening the ice cap. Imagine an army of wind-powered pumps spread across the Arctic, tirelessly working to spray seawater and build up the ice layer. These pumps could operate all year round, even in the harsh Arctic winter, with the wind providing a renewable source of energy. Now let's get to the numbers. It's estimated that if this process were to be implemented across 10% of the Arctic, we could potentially slow down the melting of the Arctic by up to a decade. That's an additional 10 years for us to find more sustainable solutions to the problem of global warming. But it's not just about slowing down the melting. Thicker ice is also less susceptible to the warming effects of the sun. This means that not only could we slow down the melting, but we could also make the ice more resilient to future warming. However, as with any ambitious plan, this too comes with its own set of challenges. It's one thing to propose such a large-scale project and quite another to actually implement it. The logistics, the cost, the potential environmental impacts, all these factors need to be carefully considered. It's a fascinating idea, but it's not without its challenges. Refreezing the Arctic is not as simple as flipping a switch. There are significant obstacles to overcome. Imagine for a moment the sheer scale of the Arctic. It's an icy wilderness, twice the size of the United States, stretching out over 14 million square kilometers. Now think about the monumental task of reversing the melting process across this vast expanse. It's a Herculean effort, to say the least. Then there's the cost to consider. We're not talking about a few $billions here. The price tag for refreezing the Arctic could potentially reach into the trillions, an amount that would dwarf the GDP of many countries. The financial resources required would be staggering, and it's unclear who would foot the bill. Would it be the responsibility of individual nations, global corporations, or international organizations? The question of funding is one of the most significant challenges that needs addressing, but let's say we had the funds and the means to carry out this colossal task. What then of the potential ecological impact? The Arctic is a delicate ecosystem, home to a diverse range of species, from the mighty polar bear to the tiny Arctic fox. Refreezing the Arctic could disrupt this fragile balance, potentially leading to the extinction of certain species and unforeseen impacts on others. Moreover, we must consider the potential for unintended consequences. The Arctic plays a vital role in our planet's climate system. If we were to artificially refreeze it, we could inadvertently alter weather patterns and ocean currents, leading to a cascade of effects that could be just as devastating as the melting itself. Even with the best intentions, our actions could have catastrophic results. We must tread carefully, with a deep understanding of the potential repercussions and a commitment to do no harm. Given these challenges, it's clear that refreezing the Arctic is not a silver bullet solution. So if refreezing the Arctic is not the ultimate solution, what is? To tackle the melting Arctic, we need to think bigger, broader. A holistic approach is necessary, one that addresses the root causes of climate change, not just the symptoms. Refreezing the Arctic, while an innovative concept, is akin to applying a band-aid to a wound that requires surgery. It's a part of the solution, but it can't stand alone. We need to focus on reducing greenhouse gas emissions, the primary culprit behind global warming. This means transitioning from fossil fuels to renewable sources of energy, like solar, wind, and hydro. It's a massive shift, but one that's already underway in many parts of the world. But it's not just about energy. Our daily habits, from the food we eat to the clothes we wear and the cars we drive, all contribute to our carbon footprint. We need to rethink and reshape these aspects of our lives to minimize our impact on the environment. Next, we need to protect and restore ecosystems. Forests, wetlands, and oceans aren't just beautiful to look at, they're vital carbon sinks that absorb CO2 from the atmosphere. By preserving these natural habitats and encouraging biodiversity, we can help mitigate the effects of climate change. It's also crucial to support research and development into new technologies that can help us adapt to a changing climate. This could include everything from carbon capture and storage techniques to more efficient renewable energy systems, and even geoengineering projects like refreezing the Arctic. But remember, actions speak louder than words. It's up to each of us to make a difference, whether that's by reducing our own carbon footprint, advocating for climate-friendly policies, or supporting companies that prioritize sustainability. The Arctic is a stark reminder of the urgency of the climate crisis, but it's also a symbol of hope, a reminder that it's not too late to act. The fate of the Arctic is in our hands. Every action we take, no matter how small, can make a difference. We started this journey with a question. What would happen if we refroze the Arctic? We've traversed the icy plains of the Arctic, its current state a stark reminder of the perilous journey we've embarked on as a species. We've delved into the daring proposal to refreeze it, an idea that, while seemingly outlandish, is not entirely without merit. We've grappled with the myriad challenges such a venture would entail, from the technological hurdles to the financial implications and the potential ecological impact. But most importantly, we've underscored the necessity for a comprehensive approach to tackling climate change, one that goes beyond singular solutions, and instead embraces a broader, more sustainable vision. As we conclude, let's remember this. Refreezing the Arctic may seem like a far-fetched idea, but in a world that's rapidly warming, it's an idea worth exploring. After all, the future of our planet may depend on it.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. That's all for Nifty Narration.